Cool. Right, on to the next run. I will hand over to our next host, which is Falco. Take it away, Falco.
Thank you very much, Spruce. Shortly will be actually. Hello everyone, I'm Lance Corporal Falco and welcome back to SHARCOM 2021. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us for this event. If you'd like to support the SHAR community's chosen charities, please feel free to donate through Twitch subscriptions, bits, or the PayPal link below the stream. We are now with Kingdom Hearts with Gordo.
Hello.
Take it away. Kingdom Hearts 2 HD, right?
Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1 final mix. We are playing.
Kingdom Hearts 1 final mix.
There's a lot of stupid parts of the name that's part of it. Alright, we're playing beginner, and if we are ready to go, I can start at any time.
I mean, it's ready.
Right, then we'll go in 3, 2, 1, start. Okay, so we are playing the PC version of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, which means we don't have to watch the 3-minute long music video, so that already saves like over 3 minutes from PS4. As you can see, we're playing on the Japanese version because Japanese text is faster than English. So at the beginning here, we're choosing what weapon to start with and what weapon to give up. This determines our stats and the abilities we start with. We pick the staff because that gives us MP, and MP is very important. And we give up shield, which will drop defense, because we're barely going to get hit anyway, and we'd rather have the strength with us. This first part of the game is just teaching you basics, is really all it. Just teaching the basics of opening doors, opening a chest, breaking boxes, collecting items on the field, etc. Like there we gain a potion, which will be useless. We'll actually get rid of that soon. And you can see from when I broke the box and breaking the barrel, it's faster to do combos in the air. We will barely be doing any ground combos throughout the game as they are very slow and we want to go very fast. So these options I just chose, they determine our experience route. We select all the top options with these questions so that our XP route is faster and we can gain levels faster. And also skipping cutscenes is obviously a notable part of the run. And if I pause too early then I can't skip it, so well done myself. Wow, that was a very fast Shadows fight, I have to say. Shadows can be extremely annoying. Like usually by going underground and whatnot. Okay, so this is what separates beginner from normal final mix. The game gives you 8 power-ups, 8 guard-ups, and 4 AP ups. We're going to use the power-ups and the guard-ups straight away. This is essentially 16 levels that we just got, so we're going to kill a lot of things in the early game extremely quickly. Like Darkseid there just dies in 4 combos. That's beginner. going to take much longer to do that in other difficulties. Okay, the game has taught us how to fight, and now we're going to spend the next 5 minutes collecting a lot of stuff. Sora and his friends are building a raft and we have to go collect supplies. So the beginning of this game is actually pretty uneventful, to be honest. Just a bunch of movement. At the end of the day, Kyra gives us a high potion, which we're going to sell in due time, because we'll need the money later on. And on the second day, we're just going to collect more stuff. Again, not too eventful. There is one thing this day has, which is not collecting, and that's involving a race with Riku. For the game category for this, you're going to have to make it like Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix. Yeah, that's just naming what the Gummy ship will be later on. Alright, now we'll start the race. So there's only a limited amount of speed that you can go in this. We can only take this as fast as it possibly can. Technically you can reach the finish, but the race doesn't technically end until Riku gets to a certain spot, so like if you mess up a little bit in this race, like it won't really matter, because it doesn't end until Riku reaches a certain spot. Not only is winning this race faster than, well, losing it, but if you win the race, you also get a pretty stone, which we'll also sell later on. Okay, coming up is what determines a good split and a bad split for Destiny Islands, and that's coconuts dropping out of the tree. It's a 50-50 chance, I want to say, of a green coconut falling, and those are the coconuts you want. If I can hit the tree. Alright. 3 times is pretty good. You'll take that every run. Alright, we got another high potion again. Gonna sell it. And this is about 7 or 8 cutscenes in a row. Dude, that was unlucky. Alright, now we're gonna get a proper weapon. Now we're gonna get the Keyblade. And we're gonna head over to the second dark side fight. Missed the finisher on the arm as it's going back. That's fine though. This is how a lot of the fights in the early game will go. In beginner. Because of the power-ups. Alright, now we're in Traverse Town, and if you're wondering what triggers the Leon fight after entering and exiting the accessory shop, the trigger is you have to kill 5 shadows, which is very specific trigger, but hey, that's what they decided, I guess. And the shadows need to behave. Okay, I killed 6, whatever. Shadows do that sometimes. And at the beginning of the Leon fight, he'll either shoot a fireball or jump towards you. We want him to jump towards me. That's just a bit faster. We don't get that. And we beat up Leon pretty quickly. Usually a tough fight. Hard to win at this point in the game. The reward is just a lot of experience, but in beginner mode we have a lot of power-ups and defense ups and we can beat him pretty easily. No, you don't get an elixir from that fight. There is an elixir on the table in that room, but there are quicker places to grab an elixir. So we're just going to kill a few soldiers there just to make sure that we level up after this next wave of soldiers in the next room, before the boss fight. And in this fight we gain our party members. That was not a bad fight. Party members helped out a bit. Alright, we want to deflect that spinning attack from guard armor and just start wailing at his body parts. That was a bit unfortunate. I leapt up into the air for the arm, but yeah, that allowed me to get hit there. And unfortunately, that's a pretty slow guard armor because he was able to deattach his arm. And while he's deattaching and reattaching limbs, he's invulnerable. But the soldiers fight wasn't that bad, so we'll take that Traverse Town. Dude, I can't believe they added Donald Duck from the hit PS1 game. Donald Duck Whack Attack. Good game, by the way. I love that shout out. Oh, well, we got an elixir there. And a bunch of money. You can use that money later on again. Party members have given me Fire, which is a magic spell I'm going to use a lot of throughout this run, and also an ability called Dodge Roll, which is also useful. Right, in that menu, I stole Goofy's ether. If Goofy uses that ether during guard armor, then it's pretty disastrous. I also swapped out a ribbon for Brave Warrior, which we got from the guard armor fight. It gives me more strength and HP. And also get myself Dodge Roll, which is just faster than running. Alright, so why did I go into the Gummy menu? No one goes into the Gummy menu in this game. Well, the starting Gummy ship you have has a lot of armor on it. And having a lot of armor on your ship makes it go slower, so we've just made our ship a bit of a tissue box and added an engine and a gun towards it. And that makes it go a bit faster. And it is worth doing these Gummy menus. This won't be the last time we'll be in the Gummy menu. And also, this particular route, you can just sit in this corner and you'll get hit once, but it won't kill you. So you can just sit here and, you know, check whatever. Like, these are great times if there are any donations or any questions about the game that I haven't covered yet.
Alright, we don't have anything at the moment. Nothing at the moment to elaborate. But I will just talk about the charities then.
Yep.
Our chosen charities are the Trevor Project, a non-profit organisation that focuses on suicide prevention among the LGBTQ+ community. Save the Children focuses on improving the lives of children through better education, healthcare and economic opportunities, as well as providing emergency aid in natural disasters and other conflicts. And 350.org is an international environmental organisation addressing the climate crisis. Its stated goal is to end the use of fossil fuels and transition to renewable energy by building a global grassroots movement. Whew, that's my speed run, read through the charities.
Awesome, just in time. Alright, reaching Wonderland. Right, so at this point we've got to find pieces of evidence to prove Alice's innocence. There are up to 4 that we can find, but we only really need 1. And then we can go back and show our evidence. And luckily there's one not too far into this room. Right here. I just pointed my camera away from the middle of the room to prevent enemies from spawning. Right, that's all the evidence we needed. Now, there is a way to tell which of the evidence here that drops is yours. I'm pretty sure it's the 4th from the left or the 2nd from the right. But it's the one that drops first is what your evidence is. And I've been made a fool, it was the far right. That's fine. If any of the party members were to be trapped, it's Goofy, because Donald's magic does more damage than Goofy charging into cards. How is it not dead? Okay. Alright, this is the trouble with the crane tower. It does not want to be locked onto. There we go. Best case scenario is the lock-on just goes straight onto the crane tower. You can start comboing it to death, but unfortunately the lock-on wants to go towards the cards. Just got to light both of these lights up, and then we head towards the giant living room at the start of the world. Oh, that's unfortunate. Wow, okay. I've admittedly not messed up unspawning enemies at that point in a while. And this is what happens. Oh my god. Oh, no, they didn't. Well, they did spawn, but apparently menu didn't turn red. Alright, well that was unfortunate. Right, Trickmaster can be a bit tricky. You want to try and hit him at the apex of your jump to get him to kneel over. Also helps if party members also attack. They're doing pretty well though. Should keel over before he gets to move, which he does, that's good. Fast fight. But just to explain the mechanics of what happened in the light room, I can't actually interact with chests and doors like that when the menu is red, when you're in a fight. That's when enemies have appeared. So unfortunately I had to defeat all the enemies for the menu to turn blue again, and I could open the door. Supposed to roll towards the door fast enough to where you can open the door before the enemy spawn, but I failed to do that. It's alright though. Okay, unfortunately the Gummy route before this one is the only one where you can sit in a place and just do nothing. This time I have to actually do something. Just move around and shoot. Apparently a lot of people are a fan of the Gummy music. Okay, now we're in deep jungle, and to start off with you have to do a little fight with Sabor, who is a really annoying hitbox. He's a very small target. And that's not the last we'll see of Sabor either. Just going to go into abilities and equip draw to make sure I grab money that enemies drop, so I have enough money for buying gummy parts later on. Just cool movement with collecting the slides. If you notice beforehand, before doing the slide minigame, I touched a save point. Because in PS4 and PC, the load times are significantly faster than PS3 and PS2, so we can save warp throughout the run. It's quicker than actually running over to places we need to go. Also, something I should have made note here the first time is, you can skip this slide minigame. And you just pause and quit and you'll be already at the bottom. Which is nice. I don't like doing the slide anyway. Yeah, PS4 and PS5 are basically the same. Okay, so now we got to fight Power Wilds. That is a pretty perfect fight. You want them grouped together like that and just spam Blizzard. We're going to save warp again. Now we're just going to clear some rooms with Power Wilds. Right, that's fine. I won't use it here, but after this next fight, I'll use the ether that I grabbed from Goofy to give me more magic to use more blizzards. Wow, that was a really fast fight too, and I still have my ether. This is a really good Power Wilds, actually. Jump down here, 2 more rooms to go. stuff like that is why power worlds can be annoying sometimes. They can just be impossible to hit. Very nice. That last one was a bit annoying. Fire actually has a homing effect, so it's better to use that than Blizzard. In scenarios such as that. I'm gonna grab our MP back, and we're gonna go towards the second Sabor fight, which will just spam fire at the very start, and then make sure she doesn't go into the bamboo. Because if she does go into the bamboo, then the fight takes significantly longer. Whoa, that was very close. Goofy actually knocked her over. And then after she gets up, she goes back into the bamboo. And fun fact, Sabor was a she. How many years old were you when you found that out? This minigame is similar to the slide you can also skip and just go to the end. I believe that fruit is just the number of hits before it goes down, instead of like having a proper HP bar. I think it's just hits. Right, now we'll go towards Clayton, which we want Donald to fire a, well, use a fire straight away, so that we take less hits. Or we get to do less hits, which he did. Nice. Thank you, Donald. Nice, just did something called an animation skip, which once you knock Stealth Sneak off the platform, usually it takes a, like, 6-second animation for him to appear. Actually, comboing Clayton there was a tad bit annoying because he ended up on top of the cliff, which is very unlucky. The fight went well overall. Sometimes Stealth Sneak can wake up and get in the way, and then things get pretty bad. Where am I? I cannot see. Okay. This is probably the most platform-heavy area, and sometimes the camera isn't so kind. That was alright. Okay, so now we have to make our way back to Traverse Town, and that requires 2 Gummy routes, so if you need to go do something for 5 minutes, then now's the time. One thing I gotta make sure on this particular Gummy route is to not kill every enemy, otherwise you actually successfully do a challenge and you gain a Gummy piece, and that interferes in your Gummy menu, so I have to not kill every enemy, and I did do that in a recent run. Suffering from success. So in case you didn't know how mechanics of this game worked, another reason why we pick stuff and the reason why we want more MP is not only to cast more spells, but also how strong they are depends on how much maximum MP you have. So if you have 3 max MP over 2 max MP, your magic will do more damage. It's a really strange formula. Thankfully, once we get to Traverse Town, we'll get a warp gummy, so we'll be able to warp back to Traverse Town whenever we need to. We don't have to go through gummy routes that don't take us to new places. And again, we can sit up here in the corner and don't need to move. It's just the opposite corner this time. Okay, so we got the Red Trinity ability after finishing Deep Jungle, so we can go to the Secret Waterway. Wow, you really want to follow me, huh? Alright, so this is where actually English and Japanese route actually kind of differs. There's a glitch in English where you can get the tutorial on Trinities at that Red Trinity, and then after it you can hold up and enter the waterway and get this item earlier. But that doesn't happen in the Japanese version for some reason. I don't know. I thought Japanese was supposed to be the first version of the game, but English has its own little glitch there. It's very strange, but yeah, we actually get this item and then reach the mystical house in the first visit to Traverse Town, not this one. And it does save time doing all that stuff early, but Japanese text is overpowered, and it's still faster to run Japanese over English, even with the technically faster route being on English. Making our way over to the mystical house now. These platforms can be a bit trolly. If you're too hasty with your jumps, you've got to make sure you know where they're going. Otherwise you can fall into the water, and if you do fall into the water, you have to swim back and do it all again. Alright, we're going to save walk back to the accessory shop. Because now I can talk to Sid, and he'll give us the book to go back to Merlin's. After this we will sell some stuff. We'll sell high potions, AP ups that we got at the start, and accessories that we don't need to equip. Oh, and the pretty stone we got from the Riku race. This is all to buy 2 gummy pieces. There we go. Sell everything but the elixirs and the white thing, which I'll equip in due time. Now we use the item that Leon gave us to give to the fairy godmother, which gives us the ability to summon Simba, which we'll use him later on in the run. Now we have to head back this way, because the game won't let us save off at this point because there's a cutscene through here it wants us to watch. And we won't. That just unlocks a shortcut back to the first district, which we'll use after this discussion. I can see the chat, and the best boss in this game is Riku Ansem. Dark Riku, Possessed Riku, Riku Ansem, whichever name you give it. The end of the first Hollow Bastion visit, that's the best boss in the game. Alright, we had enough money to grab Fyra and the haste gummy. And we'll put that on our gummy now. Or the second Ansem fight. That's also really good. Alright, we'll get rid of this engine, play our newly brought Fyra, and equip our haste, and now our gummy ship will go faster. I just warp drive to Wonderland because it takes a short amount of time to reach the warp point from there instead of starting from Traverse Town. Like, it appears right here in the route. Again, I'll just purposely not kill every enemy to make sure I don't win, in hard quotations, win a gummy piece. Otherwise it messes up my gummy menus. You can see that charge meter down in the bottom right corner. That's my haste gummy, and if I hold down square, once it fills up, then you get a huge burst of speed. Be using that for the rest of the game. I reached Agrabah now. And after freeing the carpet, I'm going to touch this save point, because again, I'm going to abuse save warping. Hey, I don't usually grab that. Also grabbed a Mega Elixir from Aladdin's house. Okay, this fight can be pretty RNG, depending on where and when the bandits want to spawn from the ground. Like, these are pretty terrible spawns. Like, yeah, one's still in the ground like that. Pretty average fight. Usually when you reach Agrabah, you're supposed to do a whole, I guess, loop around the map here. But you can bypass all those puzzles by save warping and then going back to Aladdin's house. Saves a bit of time. Whoops, Goofy's supposed to get the experience. Earring. Necklace. And we're supposed to not fall down. So I'm going to put Aladdin in my party for extra damage. He does more damage than Donald at this point. And that's a bit unfortunate. In that room, an enemy called Black Fungus can appear. And those enemies take a long time to kill. And you need to have every enemy killed in this room before we're able to activate this lock. Because again, we need a blue menu. But yeah, also in that menu I changed my keyblade. Equipped White Fang. And I swapped some of Aladdin's abilities to just help me out more. Like, one of his abilities he doesn't need. Alright, Pot Centipede. You want to get in between its head and the pot here to properly combo him, otherwise you attacks deflect off the pots like that. But that was a pretty quick fight. Not many deflections. I think I only had like 2, which is really good. Right, the Cave of Wonders fight. You want to climb up on top of its head. And start just doing single hits towards the eyes. Otherwise, if I do any more, I might fall off, and that's really bad. Okay, now I'm free to do a bunch of combos. Unfortunately, I'm not doing much damage. I'm gonna, yeah, just stop doing combos before he lifts his head up. Alright, that was pretty slow. Usually I'd want party members to help me out there. Unfortunately, they didn't. And I couldn't quite get in finishes, so I just had to take that one safely. A good Cave of Wonders fight is where he doesn't lift his head up the second time. Alright, knocking that down paves the way towards the Jafar fight. I'm going to try and do this fight without Jafar moving from his initial platform, so I'm going to try and focus. That's nice. And both Aladdin and Goofy, well, Aladdin was up here, but he decided to just jump off, I guess. This should still be fine, though. Yes, it is. Very nice. That blizzard that I did made Jafar's AI put up a magic barrier, and then after he puts that up, he tries to fly away, but I hit him at the right time, so where he staggers and then does the shockwave attack, and that gives me enough time to defeat the boss before he flies away again. Unfortunately, I missed one of the combos onto Iago, so this fight will take longer than it really should. Hopefully I have enough blizzards here to defeat Jafar here. Not quite enough, okay. Gonna have to chase Iago again. That's unfortunate. If I can get up. There we go. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I didn't do enough damage. Otherwise, Iago stays on that first platform. And you can defeat Jafar before Iago flies away. This escape sequence, you can just skip to the end. It skips to the cutscene of you escaping if you fall here, so I want to get hit by as many boulders and fire pillars as possible. And it's actually pretty, well, not difficult, but it's hardest to do on beginner because you take less damage, because I gave myself a bunch of defense ups at the start. Like there, I missed that, so this might actually not work. Alright, that was still enough. But yeah, like you instantly die on like proud mode where you take more damage. Alright, got Genie as a summon. We're never going to use him in this run. We will use that Keyblade though. Alright, we're going to fly towards Monstro next. Do you know if we have donations set up yet?
Do indeed. Donations are now officially set up. We have 25 Australian dollars from Ticker for the travel project. Let's thank Smith for tier 1 sub. Ticker says, GLGL to all the runners participating in the marathon. It's been a great time so far.
Are all subs during the marathon going towards the all the charities for this marathon?
They should be.
I think the charities are the same as what we usually have on Speed Simpsons, I'm pretty sure. Like, we always support the Trevor project.
All subs that go to Speed Simpsons always go to the charities.
Alright, in Monstro now. At the beginning of this is a pretty specific and tight strat that I hope I'll get. It saves roughly 12 or so seconds if I get it. Nice, there we go. So entering that room, it sort of drops you, and if you attack, it'll place you back onto that little doorway, and from that doorway you can jump across the room and reach the platform to the room where you need to go. Just a bit of a shortcut. Saves going into an extra room. First Parasite cage fight, you just hope that Don and Goofy don't do that. Hit the head. Otherwise Parasite cage gets out of a stun lock, and Goofy, what the hell are you doing? Wasn't the only one who saw that, right? From that fight, we gained, or Goofy learned cheer. We'll equip that to him later on in the run, but that will help a lot with summons. From that chest, we gained high jump. Makes us jump higher. And miss ledges, apparently. Wow. Can't believe I did that. Equipped our new Keyblade. Equipped Ray of Light over the white thing. It gives us an extra bar of MP. And equipped a few abilities. Again, Parasite Cage is pretty simple, just comboing it until either I screw up doing a finisher like I did that. Goofy's doing it again. What the heck? Either I screw up air combos and he's allowed to do attacks, or the same thing that Donald and Goofy do in the other fight and hit the head and that makes him go over. Yeah, all the other abilities I equip. I equip Scan, which shows enemies HP. That will be useful for the rest of the game, and there are a couple bosses where I need to know their HP before deciding what to do. Hurricane Blast is a aerial finisher, better than our regular one, and I believe MP Haste. I don't remember, I don't quite have all the Japanese names down. I'm sure it's not too important of ability if I don't remember the name of it, but we use it. Okay, we have to go back to Monstro to continue from the route anyway, and there is something we have to pick up in Monstro anyway. So it all works out in the end. And this area wasn't accessible until after the first Parasite Cage fight, so that's why we don't get it first time around. And there is another summon that we'll obtain later. We'll get Dumbo later on, when we return to Traverse Town. Alright, in Halloween Town now. A lot of things can go wrong here. Jump up there, that's another power up. Like the first 8 that we had at the very start of the run. So we use that in due time. Right, Jack's a pretty crappy party member, so we're not going to put him in the party. Instead, in this menu, we're going to steal his potions. Or not his potions, his ethers. And use the power up here. Yeah, that's a pretty Blizzard special room. One of the reasons why I have Ray of Light on. The Ray of Light is specifically useful for the next boss fight for me. There's a few ways you can go about Lock, Shock, and Barrel. But I prefer using the Stop route, which Stop is a spell that I got from the second Parasite Cage fight. And we'll be abusing Stop a lot in this run. Alright, this is a room that... Yeah, sometimes you can get bad RNG and... get these white mushrooms instead of enemies. Or regular enemies anyways, and... those regular enemies are faster to deal with. Instead of just hitting these white mushrooms once and going through here, so that's a bit unlucky. Alright, 416. During that time I equipped stop on my magic menu there. Or just have it preset on my cursor and also used an ether. Alright, take the item we got back from the pumpkin here. Hopefully back in the hill area, the black fungus don't appear there. They did appear there when I was coming back here, so hopefully they're not there again. Otherwise that's a bit of time loss. Alright, we got lucky this time. Again, Blizzard destroys everything. Yeah, I think I actually lied when I said the Waterfall Cavern was the most platform-heavy area. I think this takes the cake. Falling off here is pretty disastrous. Alright, simple. Alright, now lock, shock, and barrel. I want them to be grouped together so my stop spell hits more of them. Unfortunately, lock decides to go into the air. Ooh, that's really good. That was a really good lock, shock, and barrel. Besides the fact that lock jumped up in the air at the very first one, that was really good. You want them to be close together when you cast your stop spell and then you hit them all at once. That fight can get pretty annoying if they decide to be annoying. Okay, I'm gonna put White Fang back on and equip an air combo plus. Because we don't really need magic for the next 10 minutes of the run or so. I say that and the first thing I'll do in this fight is Blizzard. Alright, so in this fight... Oh jeez, that knocked Goofy into me. We want to hit the buttons where Oogie is, and also make sure that Donald and Goofy aren't with us, because we're free to hit Oogie for, I want to say that's 10 times, for 10 hits before he knocks you off, and Donald and Goofy don't do too much damage, so we want them to not hit Oogie with us. Oh, that's unfortunate. And that's more unfortunate. Okay, so unfortunately the dice hit me before I could hit that last dice back at him. If I do successfully do that, I'm able to go right here where you can pick a button again. And unfortunately, the spinning sides are probably the slowest one to deal with. Yeah, and hitting Oogie like that, you can see just how faster air combos are. Alright, Oogie's mana. More platforming. We just have to hit these purple globs, I guess you call them. Hey, that fire was beaming. Want to fall down here, don't worry, I didn't mess up. Wait. Jesus, that guy had me in a bit of a lock. But yep, that's all of them. Pretty simple. Sometimes stuff like the gargoyle hitting me over and over again can happen. Can be annoying. And also if you fall off the mana, like climbing, it can be disastrous. And from that fight we got the spell Gravity. We're also gonna abuse Gravity for the rest of the game, which Gravity does a percent-based amount of damage towards enemies, and as we get later in the game, obviously enemies will start to have more HP, so we're gonna start using that over Blizzard. I don't think we use Blizzard for the rest of the game, actually. Alright, so depending on how this goes, this could obliterate my time estimate, because the next world I want to go to is Neverland, and Neverland spawns when Hook's ship does at a certain point. But it's about a 70% chance for the ship to appear and 30% for the ship not to appear, and when the ship doesn't appear, you fly towards Atlantica, a world which we don't do at all in the run. We also don't do Olympus Coliseum at all in the run. But yeah, if we miss Hook's ship and fly to Atlantica, we just go back to the world map and try for Hook's ship again. Try for that 70% chance. But of course, it can happen multiple times. The most I've gotten myself is like 3. Missing it 3 times, I think. I don't know the record off my head, but it's probably something ridiculous, and yeah, when you get really good at this game, just missing Hook's ship once is just an instant reset. Okay, so if the map fades are out here, we got it. Okay, the marathon is saved. We're not losing 40 seconds. Missing it the first time loses 40 seconds, and then every miss, so on, is about an extra 20. So would you let me continue the run if I missed it, like, upwards to 30 times? Okay, so Neverland is the point where I would say the stat boosts that we gave ourselves earlier in the game are starting to not become that beneficial, because our level is pretty low at this point in the game. So enemies will actually start doing pretty good damage to us. So I have to be a bit careful from this point on. And this coming fight is up there with one of the worst in the game. Antisora is a terribly designed fight. You have to fight in a small space, and our Keyblade can just hit the surrounding areas and not hit him at all. And also, this is where our party members not helping us really comes into play. Like that. We can just hit the walls like that. I don't know how that didn't hit. But yeah, this is what this fight can be like sometimes. Unfortunate. At that point in the fight, we can sort of loop him. Oh, that one of the clones is still alive, so my targeting got way off. There we go. That wasn't too bad of a fight. Just some clinks here and there and some whiffs. But that fight can be way worse. It's a terrible fight. Alright, this is a pretty long menu. I'm gonna change all of my equipment. Oops, this is Donald. That's Peter Pan. But the most notable thing I did was first I gave myself Ray of Light so we'd have more MP again. I got rid of all of Peter Pan's abilities that make him use up MP. And I changed his AI to only use, or to make him use MP items constantly, so he's just basically an ether bot during this next part. I gave Goofy Tornado, which is one of his best abilities, really good damaging ability. And gave Donald some of his abilities, which helps him later on. This is our first use of the Simba summon. As you can see, 3 full charges. Gets rid of basically these 3 waves of enemies, except this ship, which behaved well. Sometimes that ship can just do whatever it wants and charge away from you and be really annoying. Now, this is our first stop abuse fight. Unfortunately, he got out of the stop lock. That was my fault, though, for not pressing down on the D-pad. This should still be fine, I think. Yep, there we go. But that's the general gist of it. Do an air combo of him, use stop on him, do another air combo of him. Peter Pan constantly gives you ether so you can continually stop him over and over again and just loop him like that. But that's not the last fight. That we'll be doing a similar strategy to where we just stop lock enemies. That fight also had a battleship, and that battleship can also just get in the way. While you're trying to combo hook, it can just charge at you and waste your stops and be extremely annoying. Thankfully, that didn't happen. Alright, got another new Keyblade. Got Tinkerbell as a summon, which we won't be using her. And also the ability Glide. So I'm going to equip those and also a couple of abilities. Equipped Guard to myself and equipped the ability Ars Arcanum, which is an extremely good ability, which has invincibility frames and is about, what, 8 hits in the combo? Okay, so now back in Traverse Town, we're gonna turn that stone we got in Monstro into Dumbo. We'll use Dumbo a bit later on. Now we're actually going to fight Opposite Armor. If you've played this game before, you probably noticed that I didn't even bother going for this guy when I was here the second time around. That's because you don't have to fight it until at this point in the game where you need its navigation gummy. And that's what Ars Arcanum is. Just a giant combo over everything with invincibility frames at the start. Good ability. Alright, ring the bell 3 times, head over towards it, and we'll start the fight with Opposite Armor. Well, first it's Guard Armor, but it goes down pretty easily, then it turns into Opposite Armor. Do a guard right into an Ars, gets rid of one limb. And we want him to do that same attack again so we can kill the other. Like that. Now we just gotta wail at the other limbs in the body. And the way this guy moves around is pretty annoying sometimes. There we go. Goes down pretty easily. That's a fight you're supposed to do when you're at the second visit at Traverse Town. Gives it the navigation gummies and we'll soon be heading towards Hollow Bastion. I should note too that from that fight we got the spell Arrow, which halves damage taken to us. That will be useful in the last part of the run. We definitely do need it, otherwise we get like 2 or 3 shot by enemies at that point. And yeah, at that point of the game our guard ups and power ups are neutered at that point. Right, go into another gummy menu because at the clock tower we did grab Flare G. I think this is the first instance of me not using the haste gummy, because you don't actually go anywhere during these small screen transitions where the background changes. You want to wait until you use the haste gummy. Until the next route appears and then you use it. I know something interesting to say about the gummy routes. Alright, make our way over here, and at this point we lose the Keyblade and our party members. And we'll just have Beast with us. So we're going to be avoiding all the fights we can. And we're just going through this maze here. Not much happening at this point. So at the end of this, there is one enemy we need to beat. Gonna use a single gravity on it and then hope Beast does the rest. Whoops, didn't even hit it. Did one less roll. Needed to do 2 dodge rolls there. My bad. There we go. Thankfully, Beast was pretty fast on that attack. Now we're just making our way back to the front of the castle. run ourselves into a corner to try and despawn those enemies. Again, we need a blue menu. Okay, now we're going to be fighting Riku. This fight is pretty annoying if either Goofy's Tornado doesn't hit him or your Ars Arcanum doesn't hit him. The dream fight is for Goofy to lock him into a tornado as you hit him with Rs, but of course that doesn't happen all the time, so gotta pray everything goes well. Alright, that was alright. Alright, so Goofy was absolutely terrible there. He only used one tornado until Riku had like 1 or 2 hits left. So that is not the dream. Sometimes you're at the mercy of party members in this game, unfortunately. Right, now we're going to be doing more puzzles. That dodge roll next to the table is pretty cool. Grab the book without jumping onto it. But yeah, now we have the Keyblade back and our party members back. Need to do puzzles in this room to grab emblem pieces. Fun fact, while that cutscene of that emblem piece appearing happens, you can sort of glide over there while that happens. Can anyone guess who found that? Damn, Falco's correct. Shah's own liquid Wi-Fi found that strat. And I don't know how to do it, and I don't know if people even try that strat, but it's a thing. Ow. Okay, we're gonna glide over here. Oh my god. That scared me a bit. That thing has a giant hitbox, and I thought, that's annoying. What is he doing? Usually this enemy either despawns or flies towards me, and I don't know what he's doing. There we go. Join me up here, dude. Not down where I can't hit you. I think Donald's down there, and he was attracted to Donald. I know, I heard Donald getting beat up. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. From that chest we get Haze 2, which is another gummy piece that will attach to the gummy ship. Going to equip Stop again. And also equip Dumbo. We're gonna use Dumbo in just a little bit. And we're going to stop lock a boss in a bit as well. Alright, hopefully our party members take care of that one wizard I put them next to. Really? That's a tad annoying. Dude, come on guys. Alright, they failed to do that. Again, sometimes you're just at the mercy of your party members. Shout out to Miss Master 1. This Trinity here is the main reason I think we have Donald over Beast at this point. Because you need your party... Oh, and the puzzle also. The puzzle with the red Trinity, you also need your party members, but that too, that Trinity is probably the best one in the game. Gives you two cottages and a Mega Elixir. Okay, now we're going to use Dumbo. Dumbo is a summon that shoots water at enemies, thus damaging them. But he also flies. They're going to abuse the fact that he flies. Yeah, that strat with Dumbo skips like a few rooms and a giant puzzle you have to do to get access to here. It's a pretty cool strat. For some reason, Maleficent's platform is low enough to where you can jump on it. Thankfully, you'll kill her in time before she teleports away, but... Yeah, do an R's combo, do a few air hits, and then another R's finishes it up. Goofy doing tornadoes on her helps a lot. Alright, so in this fight, we're going to do the exact same thing we did with Hook, but this is considerably more harder. So I'm going to try and focus. That's unfortunate. This is going to be awkward from here on. Ah, that's very high. Try and make this work from here. Unfortunately, she's going to breathe fire at this point, and we can't exactly be in front of her anymore. I have to use my magic here to heal myself so I don't die in this fight. How did that hit me? Yeah, being extra safe with that fight. Unfortunately, you can do the same thing as you do with Hook, just continually stop air combos, stop. Unfortunately, I couldn't do a second hit and then move over to stop in time. It's unfortunate that didn't go well. Dying is worse though. Yeah, from one hard fight to another. In this fight, I'm going to try what's called a DM skip, or a desperation move skip. Where Riku, he doesn't do a giant attack that takes about 10 seconds to perform. Unfortunate. That fight was pretty scuffed from the start, right? The general gist is, after every 4 attacks, after every 4 staggers, he counters with that spinning move. So you want to time it to where, after he does the spinning attack, you do another 4 hits to him, he spins again, do another 4 hits to him, but it's pretty tight. Yeah, shame I couldn't get that end Dragon Maleficent down, but at least I didn't die in either fights. Oh, well, now we're a shadow. And I won't say, because I don't want to go all lore in this game. Lord have mercy. And got bonkless. Just a little community joke where it's possible to skip the cutscene before Don bonks you on the head. So now I have to go back to the secret waterway to grab another navigation gummy. Again, we're going to use save warping. It's quicker to reach the secret waterway from here than running to the alleyway. And for this, we're going to get our last Keyblade that we're going to equip, and we're going to have it for the rest of the game, which is Oathkeeper. Save warp again. This will be our last Gummy menu coming up. We're just going to equip that Haze 2 that we got in Hollow Bastion. Now Gummy ship will be pretty speedy at this point. Thanks SK for rating Speed Simpsons. And I've lost the haste too. Yeah, this is how fast our ship will go. This Gummy route is pretty unique in the fact that you don't have to actually go all the way back to Hollow Bastion. You can stop midway through the route and the game will just say that you're done with the route and you can just warp drive to Hollow Bastion from there. After this screen. I don't know why the devs did this. It's the same as why the devs made Hook Ship a chance if you didn't do one of Halloween Town, Atlantica, or Monstro, but they decided to. Yep, so at this point we can exit out onto the map and we can just walk to Hollow Bastion. Now we don't need Trinities at this point, so we can actually have Beast in our party now. You gotta make our way back up to the top to where we fought Riku. Gonna put Dumbo back on the magic cursor. So there'll be a Dumbo skip that we do here that we don't do in the first visit. This one is pretty difficult because of the enemies you have to spawn in. You need to have a red menu to be able to summon. So hopefully this wizard doesn't bother me too much. Sometimes the enemies can be absolutely brutal and knock you off this platform you want to get up to. Or even follow you over here. You need to have a blue menu back when you reach this point. And there is no wizard. That went really well. Alright, another big menu here. Leaf Bracer, that's what I want. There you go. Goofy doesn't need Tornado anymore, instead he's going to use his best ability in the game, which is MP Gift. He uses up 2 of his MP to give me, or another party member, 3 MP, and we're going to abuse the absolute hell out of that for the rest of the game. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Best case scenario is Beast uses his Furious Bellow ability and absolutely annihilates everything around him. Other things got changed. I gave myself and Donald Leaf Bracer, which means we're invulnerable while using Cure. That'll be useful for the rest of the run. Because again, at this point, enemies are going to be doing a lot of damage to us. So if we need to quickly heal, we won't be killed while casting Cure. Right, use the same dumbo skip we did in the first visit. Oops, you can't go around this one. My bad. Right, so this fight is pretty reliant on Beast using Ethers on me and Goofy using his MP gift on me. Because we're going to be using a bunch of R's on this fight. Oh, that wasn't enough damage. This is frustrating, actually. Didn't do enough damage for him to keel over again, so... Now he's turning over to the side. There we go. Alright, Goofy's being pretty nice this fight. I can't fault him. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do enough damage here to kill him. It'll take one more R's. But Goofy doesn't have the MP to do that, so this will be a slow ending. That charge attack he just did, I just used QR to have used Leaf Bracer. So unfortunate that I couldn't make him kneel over the second time. Otherwise I'd still have the MP to be able to finish him off with R's at the end, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Speaking of strange dev decisions, I don't know if they just forgot or not, but these next two cutscenes I am unable to skip. I don't know why, but... Yeah, enjoy Japanese Goofy and Donald. Where is the diddles? There is no music. Until now, this song's good. What the heck do you mean diddles? Now from that behemoth fight we get Omega Arts. We'll equip that to us and we won't be taking that off for the rest of the game. Oh, Ticker wins. Right, now we're heading over to the last world of the game. We do have roughly just over 20 minutes left of the run, so... I think I won't be falling victim to the overestimate. I won't be part of someone's bingo board. Hook ship could have easily changed that. Alright, so your end game is pretty notorious because of these enemies I'm about to fight. Invisibles are pretty obnoxious. And this is why. Sometimes they want to move away from your gravities. And their desperation move takes about... how long? It's a pretty long desperation move. It takes like 15 to 20 seconds for them to perform. And unfortunately both of them did it at the same time. Ideally you want as many stuck in your gravities as possible and then just Ars Arcane them. These wave of enemies are pretty more manageable. They don't disappear into thin air like Invisibles do. Ah, pretty good. Gonna be opening this chest which has an elixir. Use up one of the cottages we got from the Trinity, because we need all the MP. This behemoth isn't the same one as the behemoth we fought before. It's much weaker and gravity works on it, is the main thing. Pretty good fight. Much better than the first behemoth. Gonna equip Ray of Light over Raven's Claw because we need the MP over the strength right now. Now this section, each portal takes you to a room of the different worlds and has a wave of enemies you can do. You can skip the ones where you've locked the keyholes in. And two of those worlds we actually haven't been to, which is Olympus and Atlantica, so you have to go through those portals and kill those wave of enemies. This room can be entirely done with Simba, and that's why we have both their party members with Cheer, and we have the extra MP. Now we need to do a small charge at the start because the defender releases a small fireball which can hit you if you try and do a full charge, and a soldier can also just attack you while you're doing a full charge. The rest of these enemies we can do a full charge from here and they can't get us. Alright, that's 3 waves done. So we can continue on. Now the Atlantica portal. Just spam fire on those guys. Gravity at each on these guys, and then spam fire for the rest of the fight. Oh my god, lock onto him. Holy crap, Clifforus. Never lucky. Alright, and we don't need the MP anymore, we need the strength. So we put on Raven's Claw again, and we have another batch of invisibles. I don't know if the one up there is dead. Nope. Okay, it hasn't even been touched. Thankfully, that one didn't go into a DM. Otherwise, that's a lot of time loss. Alright, 2 more invisibles. These ones are pretty simple to deal with. Now another contender for worst fight in the game. This is particularly why I need the strength over the magic. Because Chernobog is a piece of shit. Oh, I don't think I'm supposed to swear in this marathon. But I hate Chernobog. Just want to do 1, 2, 3 hits into the back of him. And also abuse Leaf Bracer to heal yourself during those big fire pillars. And stuff like this happens where you can just get lost. Getting him to under 1 bar at this point is pretty good though. And of course we're just 1 hit. Chernobog is pretty nasty sometimes. You wanted to be that bingo square. Oops, that's not Rave Light, that's Rave Light. Okay, we need the MP again, and we also equipped Super Glide. It's like Glide, but... you know. Goofy? Okay, Jesus, that scared me for a second. Right, defeat the behemoth there. Immediately use a Mega Elixir and fly over here because this room, we have a bunch of enemies to get through. First these Dark Balls, which we're just going to spam fire. Which looks like we got all of them bar 1. Now we're going to call our party members over to this end of the room before all these invisibles show up, and this is probably the worst invisible spot of the entire game. You just gotta adapt with these guys. Are you serious right now? Unfortunately, I had to waste time there healing my party members, because after this we're going to immediately summon Simba, and you can't summon when your party members are dead. Alright, that's the last invisible. Unfortunately, I'd like to summon Simba on the other side of the room where the door is. We need to go, but unfortunately that invisible DM'd all the way over there. So now I'm just going to put myself on this side of the room. We don't want to be in the middle of the room where the enemies are. Otherwise, those angel stars can potentially attack us and ruin everything. Alright, one more wave. And that's all she wrote. Decent final rest, besides those 3 invisibles all desperation moving at the same time. That's really annoying. But that's invisibles, what can you do? Sorry, Raven's Claw. Give myself Raven's Claw again. And another air combo plus. And we're also going to give Goofy the Ray of Light so he has extra MP to give us. Right, so now we have the final fights to do. And of course it's not just one. We have a lot of phases to get through. So this first Ansem phase, we want to get him stuck in that corner that's over this way. Otherwise he can fly away and just be relatively annoying. Like, I'm going to stop my combo here to... Nope, okay, he just wants to go wherever he wants. There we go, just push him over this corner. Nope, he wants to move and generally be annoying. Now he's all the way up in the air like this, and you can't really hit him with R's at this point. Oh my god, he really doesn't want to go into that corner. We can get him over to this corner, this also works. He really doesn't want to stay in the corner. There we go, that works. Bit of a silly fight. He never went into the corner that I wanted him to go into, but... Again, better than dying. Alright, we're going to give Goofy back Tornado. And all these elixirs and mega elixirs we're going to put in our inventory to use for the rest of these fights. And use that cottage, give us all our MP back. Just do specific hits and uses of R's. For this fight, use an elixir, get our MP back. And we're gonna try and do another DM skip. That's a good start. That's probably the second best attack he can do at that point. Avoid getting submitted. Alright, at this point, I want to do specific time hits and a specific time R's to skip the DM. That's one. hit him more times to get MP back enough for another R's. And that's another DM skip. Very nice. And his DM that he uses takes around 20 seconds to perform. It's a lot of time loss if he uses that one. Alright, Ansem 3. We want to do a lot of deflections because we want to keep our HP up as much as possible. Unfortunately, that didn't quite happen. Unfortunately, this isn't a good Ansem 3. He's probably going to spawn small enemies shortly. I haven't done enough damage at this point. Yeah, there they are. This is not a good Ansem 3. Wow, he attacks again. I didn't know that. He hasn't done this many attacks for me before. Right, there we go. That was an awkward fight. But yeah, I didn't want to use many arrows or cures during that, just to make sure I had a lot of MP for this, to use a lot of R's in this Shadow Core room. Unfortunately, I've grabbed a lot of Mega Potions. So I'm gonna have to use those up. I only had to put one in my inventory, that's fine. Okay, this next phase we call Artillery. This can be extremely annoying if you don't do this right. Just like I did, actually. I forgot to use an elixir. Using R's on that first one, using R's on these. Do a full combo on that one, and use the last for another R's on this one. There we go. Would have been faster if I remembered to actually use the elixir. Alright, this next room all has dark balls in it. As soon as we enter, we want to use a Mega Elixir. And spam fire similar to Final Rest. And if some get close to me, I'll use R's. And that was a pretty quick Dark Balls room, actually. Use up a Mega Ether. Gives myself and Goofy, so Goofy has MP to use for tornadoes for this next phase, which we call Face. Very creative name. Do specifically time hits and abuse Leaf Bracer so that we don't get hit at certain points. Gonna play it safe and put up another arrow. I can use a Mega Elixir so Goofy gets his MP back and I get my MP back for this next fight, which is a room of Invisibles, my favourite. Alright, was I in time? No, of course I wasn't. That was the last one left and the only one that wasn't in my gravities. This room can also be a giant pain if invisibles don't want to cooperate. Whoops. Not close enough. There we go. I actually have an extra elixir I think I picked up from those invisibles. That's quite lucky. Unfortunately, there's no real good place to use them. At this point, there's only 2 phases now. Use a bunch of gravities on this and then hit them. I use an elixir on myself and then an elixir on Goofy. So they can do maximum damage for this last Ansem phase. Timing is once this Ansem is defeated. Use arrow. The main thing here is that Goofy's alive. He does more damage than Donald anyway. Gonna play it safe. Really important that either one of them or both of them stay alive during that, because as you see, he takes forever to do that giant blast attack. And now the rest is wailing onto him until he's defeated with both your party members alive. Unfortunately, Donald fell there, so this isn't as fast as it could be, but that is time. Looks like a 2:08 in real time, and for me a 2:02:20 in game time, which is about a minute off my PB. And we didn't go over estimate. Let's go.
So Gordo. Any how did you find this game?
I think overall End of the World was actually pretty good. Also, no deaths is a really good thing, although I did play it safe with a couple of things, but I think that's the main thing I was worried about, having a death in this run and letting it a bit spiral out of control, but yeah, I'm satisfied with this run for a marathon. Only thing I wish went better is to do better with both Dragon Maleficent and Riku Ansem in First Visit to Hollow Bastion, but I'm pretty happy with this End of the World, actually. And hope you guys enjoyed it.
You had fun. That's all that matters for this marathon, right?
Hikarin under.
Oh, before I forget, thank you Smith for the £10, who says is very good for the Trevor Project, and Lovney with €2 for the Trevor Project as well, who says really cool to see these kind of events in this community. And thank you Clipperus for the 11 gift subs from earlier, and Mayor Quimby for the 9 months. That almost started a hype train, I must say. Lots of GGs in the chat right now. I'm seeing.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Make sure to stick around and watch the rest of the marathon. And as a side note, you probably want to go to a screen other than this one.